Hi Pisces, here's a general look at your solar chart for October 2013, and there's quite a lot of expansive energies taking you, which could take you, if you give it permission, into new areas, stepping outside of a familiar box that you may have been in, maybe only in your mind, or maybe it's physically as well. But it's also a time of transition, so you're kind of changing gears, and you're just in the last phase of that gear changing now. So if you're listening to this in September, you're probably more in the gear change phase. But in October, you are completing that change from one stretch of road to the next, from one chapter to the next. So until the 23rd, the sun is in this area of your chart to do with transition, and you've got to intuitively gauge, you've got to sense your way forward, you've got to trust your intuition. You may be consulting with another for their intuition as well, and also you've got to be aware of the handling others maybe in a more sensitive kind of a way, or being more aware of where they're coming from in an emotional sense, but also you feeling a little bit more emotional at times. Or it might not be like that, it might be that an outside agency's requirements require certain things and you're trying to figure it all out. And that's around finances, that's around property, and it can all kind of be stirred in together, really. So, but there is something here about you, your values clashing with that of another, maybe. And you having a word or two to say about that, particularly in the second half of the month, and crossing swords there a little bit, possibly, but also a time for you to stick up for yourself, stick up for what you truly believe, not coming from ego. It doesn't work then, but from what you truly believe is coming from your moral integrity, right? And when you do that, there is a strength in that, and there is a light that radiates from that. And then other elements should just find their way into place, although sometimes you might feel as though certain other elements need to be crowbarred into place. But it does work if you are persistent with it. You have both Saturn and Jupiter in stunningly good angles to your sun sign at the moment, Pisces. So you'll get there in the end. But there is a lot of expansive energy outside of this particular last clicking of the cogs of the wheels of where the sun is, because there was a lot of cogs clicking in September, I think. As you're settling into this new kind of era, or maybe it's not like that, maybe it's like a new dynamic, maybe you've let go of some things. It would have been a good idea to declutter or to detox or let go on a physical level or mental or emotional, what you needed to, and then you're moving on into the new dimensions now. The expansive energies come from Mercury, where Mercury is going to be into December, and also from Venus up until the 8th. Venus has already been in there since September, and also the sun is coming into this expansive area once it's finished off with this little sort of adjusting in this in emotion, sort of its sense. You've got to be more sensitive, and it kind of can push your buttons a bit. Comes out of that area on the 23rd. You may be pleased to hear. So the sun is in a more outgoing area from the 23rd. Time for you to try new things. Time for you to spread your wings. Time for you to get out of your own way, if that's necessary as well, and give yourself permission to sort of have a wider range of options opening up before you. The planetary energies are going to be there. Well, the solar energy is going to be there for that, but also the Mercury energy is focusing your mind more into new territories, fresh horizons, refreshing your mental palette, thinking in bright new colors, connecting with those at a distance, maybe other languages being part of the scene here, a plan or plans forming in your mind, and a breath of fresh air really coming from wherever it may come. And also you connecting with others who can teach you, or who have a specialist area of knowledge or spirituality which you admire and you aspire to, whatever field of knowledge that is, or that you would you would benefit from, or nearest and dearest could benefit from. And Venus is in the same area until the 8th. So relations with others in this sort of way that you consult with, or others that have an expertise that you would like to emulate, or that you would like to know more about. You can have really good connections with these sorts of people. Feel supported by these kinds of people, and also anybody connecting you to a foreign culture. A relationship may be very strongly linked to a foreign culture, whatever kind of relationship that is. And some of you could have quite a positive interaction within a long distance type relationship, or with those who come who are in an environment, or that who can introduce you to an environment which is very different to what you've known before. So maybe signing up for a course or something like that, and you and somebody could launch into a new enterprise. So definitely a time for, as I say, spreading your wings more and beginning to feel more settled. And then from the 8th, Venus goes up to the top of your solar chart, which is very good news there, because that can connect you with people in positions to help you, in positions of power. Can connect you in a more friendly, supportive way with bosses, teachers, anybody that you want to make a good impression on, and even parental figures. You can have a more reasonable interaction from the 8th there. Having said that, Mars is going to be in a little bit of a contentious mood from the 15th. Just use that gap between the 8th and the 15th, or if it's after the 15th, then rely, if you need to, more on your Venus when you need to, or more on your Mars when you've really got to put your foot down and be firm with somebody. Or indeed simply have a lively debate, and then look for the win-win solution that allows you to shake hands and everybody's smiling. Some of you could be having a kind of a friendship or even a love relationship with somebody who is in authority somehow or other, who is in sort of like an official position, and who is in a position to just be an ally for you, and turn that around. You yourself may be seen as an ally. You yourself may be seen as the person that can give a friendly, enable somebody else's aims and goals in the same way as somebody can be there to enable yours. Now until the 15th, Mars is in quite a hard-working area, and he's got his work clothes on. He's got his dungarees on, and he's saying, okay, let's get organized here. So it's kind of sort of pushing up the sleeves and putting your shoulder to the wheel, as it were. And Mars is in the area related to your daily duties, whether that's official work or unofficial work, which is sometimes a lot harder. And also that can be health matters as well, yours or somebody else's. And And there's a danger of you overdoing it because you're working too hard, you're spreading yourself too thin, so just watch out that you don't overstretch your energies there. And Mars tends to stir things up wherever he goes, so you and a co-worker may have a difference of opinion about how something should be done. But overall, this Mars position can really deliver results that you can be happy with, that you can be proud of. And then from the 15th, Mars goes into this area where personal exchanges with another can get very, very heated at times, professional exchanges as well, not just personal ones, but they create a friction, it's true, but they can be very productive, they can be very dynamic and productive. And because of meeting the resistance of another, or the differing ideas of another, which you're not very impressed with, at least that allows you to clarify your own and get stronger and more confident and more decisive about what you really want to do and which way you really want to go, as long as you're not just doing it to be pig-headed. And Mars can make you lacking in patience and lacking in understanding, and sort of handle somebody badly because you don't want to be bothered and you're just being a bit hasty. And that's the Mars energy, because Mars energy likes to move very, 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 very fast. So try to be aware of that and try to slow down and try to just listen to what they're saying and where they're coming from before you make any kind of major move, and somebody else could handle you badly, in fact, because the Mars energy is not only coming through you, but it's coming at you. So sparks could fly there, but try not to hold too much inside. Try to keep the communication open. And as a matter of fact, I might be painting too dark a picture here, because as I say, because this is heat and friction between you and another or certain others at this time, as long as you keep your head screwed on, keep your cool with each other, it's not all on your shoulders, then you really can cover an awful lot of ground. You can really make improvements and make changes where they're needed, and cooperate in a very in a very hands-on sort of a way where you need the stamina, you need the energy, but try not to try too hard just because of somebody else. That's always a danger there. And remember, for you early Pisceans, I just touch on this again, you've got Neptune come back to your sign after over a century, and Neptune is triggering all that is the best in you, but also all that is maybe needing a little bit more work. So if you don't have to be the sacrificial lamb, you don't have to be the martyr, but yes, the compassion is there, the healing and the spirituality is there, the imagination is there, and the urge to provide the service to others is there. And you Pisceans born between the 21st and the 23rd of February, or with 2 to 4 degrees rising, and feel this energy the most this month. Until next July, Jupiter, the planet of potential abundance, is very positively influencing your sun sign. So this is a time when you can be more appreciated and seen and recognized for your abilities, your creativity becoming more connected in with leisure pursuits maybe, or just being in a more relaxing or leisure orientated or entertainment orientated environment, or an environment which has got a lot of youthful energy in it. And also this, I connect this one to animals as well, pets and animals, and socializing in a very sort of spontaneous, unself-conscious kind of a way with others, or in certain environments where you can get to do things you really love to do in a relaxed kind of a way, which has not got certain sort of judgments on it or disciplines with it. And you can grow through any of these areas, and also a lot through contact with children or animals, and have more access to activities where you can shine in your own very individual, very unique way. And you Pisceans born 8 to 12th of March, or with 18 to 22 degrees Pisces rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. Saturn is in a fellow water sign, Scorpio, and that puts her into a supportive aspect with your sign, and you can be taking your ideologies, your wider communications, literature, higher education, legal matters, long distance connections far more seriously. So it can be one of that list, or maybe more than one of that list. And you could be integrating a new understanding of concepts, language, culture, or a system of thinking. It really does bring you down to earth as well, with your sort of pet theories or ideologies or rose-tinted spectacles about something. It really brings you down to earth with a thump. And Saturn has been in that area there since October 2012, so maybe you've already sort of had a little flavour of that in your life, where what you thought was going to be one thing, when you actually got there it turned into another. Just be consistent, be patient, keep plugging away with the Saturn energy being in such a facilitating angle to your sun sign, and you will become more respected for what you know, your experience, your knowledge, your wisdom, even your way of communicating as well, because it's a very communicative area here, and you've got to work on improving that, but also putting what you know out into the wider sphere, and also reaching for that teaching, reaching for that that experience that can teach you so much, or that teacher to come into your life. And you Pisceans born 28th of February to the 5th of March, or with 9 to 15 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most. Mars goes over the top of Neptune, maybe muddying the waters a little bit between the 18th and the 21st, so just watch out for that. Mercury goes retrograde from the 21st, which might mean miscommunications or transport snags. It also could mean that you haven't ironed out the details of the bigger picture. Yeah, be aware of that. Try to maybe schedule something to be important, if it's important, to be happening before the 21st, so that you've got that done and dusted before the 21st comes along and slows everything down. And Mercury goes over the top of Saturn on the 8th and the 9th, meaning you've got a lot more on your mind there, more to get your head around, or maybe more pressure on you from others, and you having to be maybe more careful with what you say, or maybe it's just boring filling in of forms or something like that, where there's just mentally a little bit more, it's burdensome really. And I think that's just about it for October. So if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, if you listen to those, it'll give you another slant, another viewpoint on what I've been saying here, and add a little bit maybe. And also, if you go to my website to see what the outer slow moving planets are doing, I update that every month. Their positions I update every month, so have a look at that. And I will see you the next time.